Good evening, my name is Ailit Sanchez Lopez and I'm going to present my evidence tree for contemporary world, transformation of society. Some important events of the last decades are the Pan Am Flight 103, the Cold War, the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and the Oklahoma City bombing, the September 11 attacks. China became a member of the World Trade Organization. The creation of Facebook, the Union of South American Nations was formed. The first monkeys were cloned, and there was a human modification reported in China. The Madrid train bombings, the spike in food prices and subprime crisis helped trigger the global recession. The tensions between North Korea and the United Nations, coronavirus, and Australian fire. Description of some of the main events of the last decades. The Pan Am Flight. On December 21st, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103 was blown up over the village of Lockerbie, Scotland, while en route from London's Heathrow Airport to New York's John F. Kennedy. The bombing killed all 243 passengers, 16 crew members, and 11 people on the ground, totaling 270 fatalities, who were citizens of 21 nationalities. The bombing was and remains the worst terrorist attack on UK soil. The Cold War. We have seen the Cold War throughout the semester, but a brief description of what this is the rivalry that developed after World War II between the United States and the Soviet Union. The Cold War was related into political terms, economic, and propaganda fronts. The 9/11. On September 11, 2001, 19 militants associated with the Islamic extremist group hijacked 4 airplanes and carried out suicide attacks against targets in the United States. 2 of the planes were flown into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, and the other 2 were landed on the ground on different cities of the United States. The creation of Facebook. On February 4, 2004, a Harvard sophomore named Mark Zuckerberg launches the Facebook, a social media website that had built in order to connect Harvard students with one another. By the next day, over 1,000 people had registered, and this came on so long. Madrid train bombings. On March 11, 2004, 10 bombs in backpacks and other small bags exploded on 4 commuter trains. 1 bomb did not explode and was defused. The police did control explosions of 3 other bombs, thankfully. World population reaches 7 billion. The day of the 7 billion, October 31st, 2011, is a day that has been officially designated by the United Nations Population Fund as the approximate day on which the world's population reached 7 billion people. And now, 2 of the most important events I consider I should talk about are coronavirus and Australian fire. Coronavirus is a newly identified coronavirus. SARS-CoV-2 has caused a worldwide pandemic of respiratory illness, and it's called COVID-19. As for Australian fire, Australia faced a devastating start to its fire season in late 2019. And things swiftly got worse before rains helped contain many of the worst fires in February 2020. Globalization. Globalization is an historical process of world integration in the economic, political, technological, social, and cultural spheres, which promotes and increases the interactions between different regions and populations worldwide. I think globalization emerged thanks to the digital era. It connected us and made every single national event affect everyone in the world. Terrorism. According to the Code of Federal Regulations, terrorism is the unlawful use of force and violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof, in furtherance of political or social objectives. I believe terrorism was mostly presented due to ideals of things like religion and culture that were not respected, like the anarchists, socialists, and nationalists who thought they should defend their ideals anywhere. Unipolar world. It is believed that in a unipolar world, the main political, economic, cultural, and social vectors are defined by one of the most influential states of the world. How does this relate with the Cold War? Well, before the Cold War ended, the world was basically formed and ruled by the concepts given by United States and the Soviet Union. Right now we can say that United States has won the war because it has had many more stability. So it's said that it's a unipolar world because of that. Finally, the digital era. It is a historical period characterized by the existence of digital technology in our daily basis. It has also been implanted in different aspects in our society: learning, working, economy, politics, etc. I think it has had a big influence today. Basically, it is present in our daily lives, and our activities are getting easier every time. The digital era has influenced the way we study and work. A perfect example of this is the way we are able to adapt to online school thanks to technology advance.